Hey guys, it's Raf, and I'm just gonna do like a small diary, I guess, or video blog, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, about the process of recording the parallel dimension record, and maybe show you a little bit of my setup, what I'm doing, and yeah, that's about it. So let's just start with that. So, so you can see, nothing very fancy, nothing very glamorous. This is my setup. I have a very old Dell computer, Inspiron. I bought it when I moved to the States. It's still working form. And it's a PC, so see, you can keep PCs alive, just need to know how to maintain them. But it's hooked up to this 21-inch LG monitor, pretty simple. And yeah, it's an old computer. So I am on the works to upgrading it. I'm probably going to get a Mac Mini. And then do a couple of upgrades on that, including the hard drive, the RAM, all that stuff. And have it solely for recording purposes. So the monitors are KRK's Rocket 5-inch, pretty simple. Nothing fancy, pair of those obviously. As far as the interface go, there's a Focusrite 2i4. If you are getting into home recording and you want to get a decent interface for a really good price, a lot of the guys who are really pros use it, like the guys from Periphery have some of these on some of their videos. And, you know, these are the best bang for the buck if you want to get a good signal to your computer and just record, track, do whatever. And then I got all my geeky shit, including that's a Petrucci JPM model back in the Ibanez days. Cool mini model, my brother got that for me. And that's about it, you know, recording wise. I'm not doing a whole lot right now. What I do have is Guitar Rig 5, which is a pretty old software at the moment. But it's what my computer can hold. It has like 6 gigs of RAM. But some of the stuff I do here gets, the sound gets replaced using bias effects. And that's what you hear on the record. But what I do here is I do change the impulses on this. So my keyboard player, Jerry recommended a pack, this NADIR, IR for impulse request, or impulse response, sorry. And we've got this Messiah pack, which is actually free, and you can basically, I use the Guitar Rig just as the head, and then I run it. I basically turn off the cap section of it. So this is what I'm using. It's like a Marshall Plexi, believe it or not. I kind of toned it like a Mesa a little bit, because I like the way this emulator sounds through the Messiah a little bit better. And then a tube screamer on front, and the noise reduction. And this section is turned off. Basically the cap is turned off because I have it on another plugin here for the impulse, which is the one I just showed you. And that's it on that side. So nothing really fancy, really. And it gets the job done. So it's part of the single. So I can't show you a whole lot. And what else? Here I have this little drawer, and I keep my guitar picks in here. Since the lighting here is shit, I will do this. So I keep my guitar picks here. I have 3. This is for like new packs of guitar picks, and then here I have some like tools and some artist picks I've collected. Here, the next drawer, I have a bunch of shit, like pickups, like pickup cases, a couple of guitar cleaning products, cleaning clothes, what the fuck else I have, some notebooks with some notes and shit, of songs I'm writing, and here, I got some books, exercises, a guitar grimoire, some notes on songs and shit, and then cables, a lot of cables, like, I use sometimes, and this is where I store my cables whenever I'm done. Nothing fancy, as I said. Over there, this is a stand with my guitars. It's the infamous red RGA Ibanez, and this is the Squire Strat I just got just for fun. And The main one is just the Ibanez 7 string, 7321, Crunch Lab Logo Fire pickups, and my practice amp, which is Line 6 Spider 4. Believe it or not, people may think I do have something against Line 6, and I know. I think they're great amplifiers for practice. For practicing home or whatever. Live, I wouldn't use them. I did at one point because that's all I could afford. But if you can get a good tube amp, I'm very, I guess, picky about the tone and stuff. So a good tube amp, good effects, and you're good to go kind of thing. And yeah, that's basically it. That's my setup. I mean, nothing fancy really. If you want to get up and record home, I mean, you gotta spend maybe a couple $100 and read a lot. And I still nowhere as good as I'd like to be, but I have good friends who are. My keyboard player is way better than me at this, and obviously my good man Carlos, who's engineered the first Infidel Rising record I worked on, engineered the Parallel Dimensions Horizon CP, and obviously is gonna also engineer this upcoming Parallel Dimension album, which we already have a couple of titles in mind, but we still haven't decided which one to use. But yeah, that's about it. That's what I do. That's where I track. Like I said, nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. This year I'm going to do a lot of upgrades. Going to get some monitor stands to have them apart. I am going to get a new PC. And I'm even thinking of getting new desk also as well. Like a bigger desk so I can fit 2 monitors. So definitely a lot of upgrades coming this year, hopefully. But like I said, you can get started with a simple setup and you can make records. What I do is I usually track everything down here. And I make sure, the parts are as clean as you can. I take all the effects away and just hear the dry guitars and see there's no huss, no nothing that interferes. The signal is as clean as I can. I send those tracks over to my keyboard player, which has a better recording setup, and he reamps everything with bias. Then we talk to our boy, our engineer Carlos, and he takes care of all the mixing. And I've done a couple of mix my own stuff here just for fun. Like I did the Navi demo from the bonus edition of the Infidel Rising record. I did here, and I kind of mixed it myself as best as I could. I'm still on the learning process, but it's a fun thing, and yeah, it's where the record is gonna get made. So not fancy studio. It's way cheaper if you just do it in your room and then get it in the right hands, get it mixed, and make sure. And you can take your time to, try everything you want. That's a curse and a blessing because you take longer to do everything, but you make sure, you record what you want. And yeah, thank you for your patience for the Parallel Dimension record. I know I've been rambling a little bit, but we are working on it. Like I said, the single, I'm going to finish tracking rhythms for the single now, which only like 1 minute left, 1.5 minutes left of tracking, and gonna do both sides of that. Then I'm gonna nitpick every single detail on the whole rhythm guitars, and maybe if I need to fix something else tomorrow, I'll take care of that. Our singer Edgar is already has been sending me some of his parts, and we've been reviewing them. And then Jerry also has done some of his parts, and then we're gonna have our bass player do some of his parts next week, and hopefully after that just getting it mixed. And we're gonna release a single really soon. We were intending to release it on December, but there were a couple of stuff that happened. Everybody's families were in town and all that stuff, and we didn't just want to rush it. We just want to make sure it's worth your while, because the last time we released something was in 2013. So it's been 4 years since Parallel Dimensions released any new music. So we want it to be the best we can release so you guys can enjoy it. But the record's on its way. This year for sure it's going to come out. It's going to have 7 tracks. 2 of them are from the EP. We're going to re-record them, obviously, not just going to use the EP ones. We're going to re-record 2 of the songs on the EP. And then we have 5 new brand songs. 2 of them are pretty long pieces, over 10-minute pieces. One of them almost clocks at 14 minutes. So that's why it's a 7-track record. And it's really, really fun. I'm really looking forward to releasing this music for you guys, and hopefully you guys dig it. If you've been a Parallel Dimension fan way when it started in 2010, thank you so much, because Even when I was on my tenure in Fiddle Rising, a lot of people still ask me about Parallel Dimension, and that means a lot to me, and to the guys in the band, obviously. And for all of those of you who are new fans who just heard of the band, trust me when I say we are very much looking forward to releasing music, maybe do a couple of shows. Logistically, it's a little bit hard because we're all kind of split. The singer lives in Puerto Rico, keyboardist lives in Missouri, and then me and Daniel live here, but we are definitely in the talks to doing a couple of shows for people who have asked. So that is going to happen at one point. But first and foremost, we want to get the record out, and that has been our focus. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to get my ass to work because we got a record to get done. And so with that, thank you. Keep it prog, peeps, and just wait for Parallel Dimensions release this year, finally.